Las Vegas housing inventory jumps over 35%. Homes are sitting longer. Prices are still rising, but only slightly. And nationally, affordability just hit a 3-year high. So what does that actually mean for you if you're buying, selling, investing, or renting in Las Vegas in 2026? My name is Michael Coxen, broker owner of Magenta Real Estate, and this is your December Las Vegas market report, where we cut through the noise and break down what's actually happening in our local market. All right, let's get into the big picture and see what changed in Las Vegas last month, starting with the numbers direct from Las Vegas realtors. These numbers are hot off the press. Let's dive right in. First, single family homes. The median sold price is at $488,995. That's up 1.9% from last year. So prices are up. The number of homes sold is 1,538. That's down 6.6% year over year. New listings are at 2,185. That's up 2.2% from last year. And the available inventory is at 7,033 homes, up 26.3%. Months of supply, that's at 4.6 months. That's up 35.2% from last year and up from last month. We are creeping up that really important number to determine if it's a buyer or seller's market. And we're pretty even, as those 4.6 months indicate. Home selling in under 30 days is at 47.4%. That's down from 57.9% a year ago. So prices are fairly stable, but supply has surged up and buyer demand has softened. Kind of a weird anomaly we're seeing right now. Some are calling it the great stall, where neither buyers or sellers are really willing to budge. So a year ago, we saw 6 out of 10 homes sold in under 30 days. Today, it's under 5 out of 10 homes. So people on the sell side are having to wait a little longer, and buyers just don't have that urgency, but we're not seeing price reductions to match the softened demand. Really interesting times. Not to mention, it is right around Christmas time and holiday season as I'm recording this. It's normally kind of slowed down, but these numbers I just read you are year over year. So it's important to note that these numbers from last year were December holiday season of last year, and they are indicating a major change. So all of this information is very meaningful for both buyers, sellers, investors, and renters. Let's look at condos and townhomes. This data is also from Las Vegas Realtors. The median sold price is $303,750. That's up 0.8% year over year. So, kind of flat. Sales down 20.2%. Inventory up 40.8%. That leaves us with 6.9 months of supply. That is a massive 76% increase. This segment, condos and townhomes, this segment's softer, and it's now behaving extremely, to me, like a buyer's market. So what does all of this mean for Las Vegas? First thing is inventory is meaningfully returned. We haven't seen this kind of available housing in years. The last time national inventory was this high was 2019 per Realtor.com. And that's indicative of we're going back to the pre-pandemic norm. Locally, Las Vegas inventory rising 26.2% year over year. It mirrors that national trend. This shift matters because more homes means more negotiating leverage for buyers. And sellers, you got to price correctly from day one. The era of instant bidding wars is long behind us, outside of the unique or turnkey stuff priced well. The second thing I want to be clear about is prices are not crashing. Despite a big jump in supply, single family median price we talked about, it rose year over year. Condos and townhomes also rose slightly. So this tells us buyers are selective. They're not absent. They're still out there. So homes that are updated, priced correctly, and marketed aggressively still move. Homes that are dated or overpriced or neglected can sit 90, 100, 120 days or more. So if you don't have a nice home, it's time to put a little work in to attract the right buyer. We haven't had to do that in years. Las Vegas, it's pivoting toward a normalized market, not a distressed one. So forget that narrative. The third thing I want to address is time on market. It's returning to pre-pandemic rhythms. Almost 53% of listings nationally are taking longer to sell. And we see that here in Vegas too. Locally, only 47.4% sell in under 30 days. Sellers need the right expectations. Buyers need patience and strategy. Let's chat briefly about national affordability and why it matters in Las Vegas. I read a report recently that centered on one big theme: renting versus buying, and the long term wealth equation. Yes, it's true. Affordability here is a bit rough right now, and it is cheaper to rent month to month in all 50 major metros, Las Vegas included. That's a headline that scares buyers, but renting has no wealth building benefit. First American title, their data shows homeowners accumulate massive long term equity regardless of the year they bought. The number one misconception nationwide: people still believe they need 20% down. They don't. Las Vegas has fast population growth. Las Vegas has strong job creation in hospitality, but also sports, healthcare, and logistics. A huge renter population in Vegas, not realizing that they can buy with 3 to 5% down conventional, 3.5% down FHA. There's down payment assistance programs available to them. And for my veterans, you get 0% down. As affordability improves nationally, Las Vegas buyers will re-enter the market. I stated at the top of this video that it's actually been the most affordable time to buy in 3 years. Affordability is prices, rates, and wages. So when you figure in all three of those, it's the most affordable time to buy in the last 3 years. Doesn't mean it's affordable to everybody, but it is a time to strike and you can start building equity. So with rates trending down heading into 2026, I think affordability eases even more and more buyers enter the market. So maybe don't wait. One other thing I want to talk about is how builders are resetting the market. So we've learned that builders are leaning heavily into concessions. 65% of builders are offering incentives. And frankly, that's just public. I think all of them are offering incentives. 41% have been cutting prices. And again, I think more than that. Lennar reportedly is giving concessions equal to 14% of a home's price. Our new construction corridor in Las Vegas, especially in Summerlin West, Inspirada, Cadence, Tule Springs, Sky Canyon, it's full of builders motivated to move inventory. This is meaningful for buyers because you can negotiate far more than 18 months ago. You can lower your payment with permanent or temporary buy downs, which is where you use cash, preferably from the seller or builder, to purchase a lower interest rate. You can customize upgrades again. And for sellers, you're competing with builders, whether you like it or not. So recognize that when you're pricing and marketing your home. All right, so who has the advantage right now? For my buyers, more supply means more choice. Price reductions are back to normal levels, and we see that nationally and locally. Time on market gives you leverage. Builders are offering real incentives, and rates are drifting downward heading into 2026. It's the most balanced, even dare I say, favorable buying environment since we've seen since pre-COVID. And my sellers, you must win on price, presentation, marketing, and condition. Your competition is no longer just your neighbor. It's also brand new homes with major incentives. The good news, prices are steady, demand exists, and Las Vegas continues to grow. Motivated, realistic sellers can absolutely win in this market. And for my investors out there, higher months of supply equals more negotiation power. Rents remain strong in most sub-markets. They came down and now they're back up. Again, kind of flat like pricing. Condos and townhomes sitting at almost 7 months supply. That's your opportunity zone. That's your strike zone. I will be going right after that. The long-term Vegas fundamentals, meaning population, jobs, tourism, sports, it's unmatched. This is a one-of-a-kind city. With prices flat and inventory rising, 2026 could be the best buy window since 2019. For renters, nationally, renters are becoming optimistic again about becoming homeowners soon. Locally, if you've been priced out for the past 3 years, the door is cracking open just a little bit again. So start the conversation now, not when rates drop further and competition spikes. Now let me look into 2026. I always get nervous making these predictions. I've been fairly accurate over my entire career. And that's not to say I am smarter or know more than the next person, but I look at the numbers and I follow the experts and I make an educated guess. So here is my educated guess. I'm going to lead with Lawrence Yun. He's the head of economics, I believe is his title, at the National Association of Realtors. He projects 10 to 15% more home sales next year, meaning more transactions, meaning more buyers re-entering the market, meaning more movement across the valley. So here's the takeaway. If you're thinking about buying or selling, acting early in 2026, or maybe even right now around Christmas when most people are, cozying up with their pajamas and hot cocoa, you might have the most favorable conditions. If I were considering buying a house and I'm out looking right now, I would be very aggressive through the end of 2025. So my prediction going into 2026 is boring. I think it's going to be pretty flat. Yes, there's going to be more sales, but I don't think enough to really drive prices up in any significant way. This is such a cop out, but I think prices are going to fall somewhere between -2% to +4%. And that depends on, of course, so many factors. Interest rates being the number one card that has to play in the favor of buyers in order for there to be a significant increase in prices. But assuming they stay in the low sixes, I think we're going to remain flat. If they go into the low fives, well, then that's when I think we're going to have that slight increase. But either way, should be a pretty boring year. If you want a personalized breakdown of what all these numbers mean for you and your home and your plans, your neighborhood, again, real estate is hyper local. If you're looking for an investment strategy, reach out anytime. You can comment below and we'll sync up offline. I work all across Las Vegas, Summerlin, Henderson, North Las Vegas, Southwest, the Strip, downtown, and I'd love to help you make confident, informed decisions. Subscribe for more Las Vegas market insights, lifestyle updates, and monthly market reports. Follow me on social media at Michael Coxen, and I'll see you in January for the 2026 forecast. Happy holidays.